Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you, Dr. B?
Well, I'm splendid. Um,
Splendid.
yeah, it's been a while since I've done a live stream, so I'm a little bit out of my groove. But hopefully, I'll overcome this nervousness. I'm nervous for some reason. I don't know why.
It's like a first date.
It is. Hopefully, it's better than you know
Like
Kobex
an
and
actual first.
NMKs.
Like Trent Bolt's first date with the officer, where he didn't ask any questions about the officer. It was all about Trent. So rude.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. Kind of like that. Yep.
Kinda.
Yeah. So here's the plan. Today we have a lot to talk about. But the primary focus will be this murder conspiracy suit that is currently in court. So while people kind of are coming in, I figured I would do a little bit of kind of like a story time
All
um,
right.
thing. So here's the story. Let me just figure out my tabs.
Of
How's
a hoe
everyone
named
doing?
Courtney. Oh, no, sorry. That's not the right lyrics. My bad. Oof, sorry.
Okay. Okay, this is gonna be fun. I can see it already. All right. So yes, it's primarily gonna be focused on the case, but we are gonna start with a little story time. And that is going to be about just a little tidbit about heart-shaped box. Hello, everyone in live chat. Shmita has been a member for 8 months. Congratulations, Shmita's pictures.
Yay, Shmita.
Oh, I can't. Yes, so let's start with a little story. Ew, why can't I hear myself? Oh, wrong tab. All right.
Okay.
So this is from Everett, from Everett's book, and it's an anecdote that Callie, our good old friend Callie, kind of gave. He says, I went to the heart shaped box video shoot. That was another interesting day as far as arguing goes. And he means arguing between Kurt and Courtney. We were in LA at the Four Seasons. I think they'd been fighting a lot, and Kurt had a vibe like, I wish Courtney would leave me alone. She was picking at him in a Gold Mountain sort of way. She kept telling him, this is an important video for you, so don't fuck it up. You have to look good. And him going, shut the fuck up. I'll look how I want. I'll look like myself. Quit telling me how important this is. That fight escalated over hours. It was always a slow build. In a classic Kurt way of saying fuck you, he put a cigarette out in the middle of his forehead. There was a huge burn there and it looked really nasty. He goes, there, are you happy? Am I going to look fucking good enough for you now? It took the wind out of her sails a little. If you watch the video, there's a lot of makeup on his forehead because it was a really bad scab, big and in the center. In the close ups, there's a strip of hair that never seems to move in the middle of his forehead. They had to paste some hair over it. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Courtney is like the ultimate pageant mom.
I mean,
She's a little
I,
psycho.
yeah. So I wanted to share that just as an intro with people who might not be as familiar with this story. And I know that there are a lot of people here from the true crime community, and this all might be new to them. So if you are a diehard, Kurt Cobain follower, and you know have heard this before, bear with us. because we are all educating ourselves. So yes, and heart-shaped box as well has a lot of symbolism that I have analyzed in the past, but that is for another show, which I don't know if you guys saw the trailer before this live, but I am working on a 6-part Courtney docu-series, and heart-shaped box is one of the themes and episodes. So a lot of interesting information that I found with regards to that. So I don't know why I just went off on this rant here. Okay, so that's that for now. And next I'm going to share the court summary that we want to go over, or that I want to go over, but we all do, really. I know, I'm just, I'm all over the place. Told y'all I haven't done this in a while. All right, so Jen,
Yes.
do you have any questions so far? Am I forgetting? I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. And it doesn't feel like, I feel like we're moving too fast.
Maybe give like a couple of things that examples of
Sammy.
symbolism that you noticed. Just a couple,
with
real
the
quick while
heart-shaped
you're.
box?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So, okay, there's several references. Obviously, there's Courtney's references to heart-shaped boxes throughout her diaries and her biographies, and she talks about collecting those. Well, an interesting, I love to track. I love to track back. I love to track things to their origin. So I tracked this heart-shaped box story back, and actually it's mentioned in her father's, Hank Harrison's book, Love Kills. And he talks about also collecting various chocolate boxes, etc., and that he would collect them for her and then send them on to her. So that kind of corroborates her account of collecting them. But
If you
then
tell
he
me
also,
that this is some fucked up story about she didn't get a Valentine's Day chocolates for the school or the class Valentine's Day party, I'm going to die.
no,
If you tell
no,
me that's what it's about, okay, good.
no,
Because that
no.
would be too simple for her. I feel like it's way deeper and more complex than that.
Well, so yes, so she collects these boxes, right? So then, independently of that, we have Kurt Cobain, or the account that she gifted Kurt Cobain a heart-shaped box, and that it was so significant to him that he wrote this entire song, is, the version that obviously Courtney has put forth.
All right.
But an interesting anecdote in Hank Harrison's book is that in one of those boxes, she would keep letters from Billy Corgan.
Oh.
Yeah, and just love letters and things like that. So
I wonder what kind of penmanship Billy Corgan had. I feel like it was small.
I don't know.
Sorry, my head is just in a weird place today, and I cannot seem to be serious. I need to be serious. I'm sorry. I'll behave.
No, it's
no more jokes about Billy Corgan's handwriting. I feel like he just wrote really small, though, for some reason. I don't know. These are just things that I think out loud that I should probably keep in my own brain quietly.
No, I would like to ponder some of those things with you. But we have a problem. I cannot find a fire.
Oh,
But
no.
I
Use the
know.
toaster. I know people
Well,
say to use the stove, but the toaster's quicker than the stove.
yeah. Well, where was I? What was? Oh yes,
Oh,
heart-shaped box.
heart-shaped box.
Yes. See, now because you put me on the spot, I'm not going to be able to source exactly where I read this, but I do have the source in my
Sure, blame
countless
me.
notes.
So
But I have
blame
read an
Jen Lou
account.
because she's literally the worst. Go ahead.
Yes, the worst.
The worst.
Yes, but I've read an account somewhere that at some point, whether it was towards the end or in the middle or in between, I'm not sure, that Kurt Cobain actually found some letters inside of one of her heart-shaped boxes that he read, and that, heart-shaped box is about their relationship, but it's not necessarily in a doting and positive way, but more like you're like the tar, like that, you know, it's a little bit
I see
all
what you mean.
consuming. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was
So,
thinking it was maybe heart-shaped box, like you love somebody so much that you end up in a box, like a
well,
coffin.
that too, and actually the first original title of it was meant to be Heart-Shaped Coffin. So
Love does kill.
it does, and there's that symbolism of keeping Billy Corgan in a heart-shaped box, which that guy she never let go of. They're still, heavily involved with one another in one way or another. I'm
It
not
is
sure, but
interesting in the way that she chooses to preserve Billy Corrigan's her memories of their relationship versus the way she chooses to it's like she treasures that relationship more than she treasures the relationship with Kurt, which is weird because even if their relationship was rocky and messed up, which it was, he gave her a daughter. I don't know. I feel like that outranks anything, but that's just me. I also don't try to put hits out on dogs. So there you go. Did she just leave?
no, I found something to light a fire, but I can't figure out how to get the safety off. Like this is,
Oh,
I don't know, it's like a weapon.
oh, we're gonna get some great comments after this is up. I can just read them in my head now.
We actually did get some interesting comments. So,
Hmm.
so yeah. But okay, well, let me get to the case because this is
Yes,
really why
yes.
people are here.
Yeah, they're not here
And
for my shenanigans. You're right.
all right, I think I have a better way of sharing this now because I don't need the audio. So I'm gonna get my stuff together as well. And all right, here we go. So I have the documents that go along with this. I'm not going to be looking at chat while I go through this. So, Jen, por favor, if you need to stop me, please do.
Yes, ma'am.
Gracias.
De
All right.
nada.
So, obviously, today we had a hearing. It was a status conference, and both sides appeared via telephone. And there were some filings and some documents and orders that resulted from that meeting. But before we get into that, I wanted to share just kind of a timeline of what has been going on over the last couple of months. So last time we checked in, we were all excited about this filing right here, the July 8th of what that shows that Silva obtained an attorney. And because he had been missing, quote unquote, for a while and hadn't been appearing. Um, one moment, please. My sister's joining me, and I'm sitting out in the garage. So if you hear a loud noise, that would be the garage door. So that's just a warning. But I'm going to keep going through this unless it gets ridiculous. Okay. So that was our excitement. We were excited about. How loud is it, Jen?
It's not that bad.
Okay, good. Welcome back. All right. Sorry, y'all. Sister B is in the house.
These are the professional accommodations you can expect from all of us here on the ward, at the ward, in the ward, wherever we are, the ward.
Yes, where we're not judgmental, where we allow everyone to just be as they
correct.
are.
As Bob Ross would say, it's all happy little accidents.
And I do come with loud noises, as if you've been following me, you do know that there's an occasional, riot or something outside of my windows.
That's okay. I come with no noises. None of my videos would upload to StreamYard. So there you go.
Oh, but you come with the most noise on the phone calls.
I don't know why you had to put me on blast like that. I don't really appreciate that.
I feel like we've already discussed this before, but you have definitely improved. Okay, so we got excited about the attorney. Yes.
Yes,
okay.
we did.
So right. So then on August 20th, this is very interesting for me, okay? So we have Silva obtaining an attorney, and then on August 20th, one of the defendants, Mark Gaines, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he filed a motion to which Isaiah's attorneys responded. And then on the 20th, they had a hearing regarding those motions. So I'm going to read one of those motions, just not the whole thing, but just to kind of give you an overview, if that's all right with you. All right, can we see this one?
Oh, let me look. Yes.
Okay, great. I just realized that this whole time my screen was not shared. Way to go.
Could that be the reason we weren't seeing anything?
Yes, that would be 99.9% affirmative.
Okie dokie. All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So this is a response that was filed on behalf of Silva by his new legal firm, and it summarizes both everything. So we'll just go through this. So this was filed on September 17th. Basically, what they're saying is that they're asking, okay, so let me just get the right time frame. Okay. So Mark Gaines, he filed a motion order deeming admitted truth of facts and imposing monetary sanctions against Isaiah Silva. And Gaines alleges a response to his request for admission expired on July 21st. Now, recall that on July, 8th, they filed a substitution of attorney on behalf of Silva. So he's saying that request for admission, he had expired on July 21st. So I was wondering, how can it have expired if by this time Silva already had an attorney? So let's keep reading. The defendant, meaning this Mark Gaines, failed to notify the court that he improperly served the plaintiff. The defendant served the documents at the plaintiff's personal address. When plaintiff's counsel was put on notice that the requests for admission were sent to client's personal address, plaintiff's counsel notified the defendant via letter, certified mail on July 8th, also via email the next day, that Silva is basically now being represented by their law firm. And in that same letter, they asked for an extension due to the delay. So now Gaines, or Gans, whatever, refused to respond to any of those. The exhibits are here. So this is the first letter that was sent on July 8th, saying that we're going to be. Go ahead.
And it looks like they also requested that anything pertaining to this case and to Mr. Silva be served to them at their offices and not to his personal address. Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Looks like that's the other part of it too. Or were you getting there? Sorry.
No, that's the other part. You're absolutely correct.
Okay.
So, and this is the letter. So this is the exhibit that they attached. Then this is the email that they followed up the next day with, where again, they're saying, our firm is representing Mr. Silva in the Courtney Love matter. I sent you a letter yesterday via certified mail putting you on notice that we accept service of process on behalf of Mr. Silva. We were just recently notified by our client that he received interrogatories from you. We are working on them. However, we respectfully request an extension. Okay. And then this is on August 25th, where Mark Gaines, or this is
you got me, babe.
letter.
I've tried to figure out how to say his name 11 billion times, and I think we're just going to go with Gaines. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is another the letter that they sent and the email, and so obviously they were trying to establish contact with this guy, and he simply did not respond. So on the 16th of August, Silva's attorneys filed the response, or sent the response to Gaines's motion, assuming that they're somehow going to be able to settle this dispute in court, since Gaines refused to respond to them, right? They proceeded and put there goes the garage again. God knows how many hours into responding to each and every allegation.
Right.
Yes, and they included their objections, and basically Gaines asked for a number of admissions, and there are some of them that Silva admitted to. For example, this first one, admit that Gaines has never touched you with the intent to cause harm or offend. And he admitted that because we've seen in the complaint that there is no physical contact between Gaines and Silva. And then he also admitted that he never touched you. So a lot. So this is for Gaines' law. And a lot of this is very redundant. Oh, you can go ahead and close the garage. We already made a disclaimer. A lot of these are redundant and just pretty much the same, but including each of the defendants and each of the allegations or accusations. So they're asking him basically to just go back on his words completely and just admit that everything is frivolous, basically. But most of them, Silva objected to, meaning that they do not admit. So for example, number 3, admit that none of the defendants have ever touched you with the intent to cause harm or offend. This would then include Courtney Love. This would include Sam Lutfi. This would include the other guy, Yutman, that was with Sam Lutfi when they broke into the house, and so on and so forth. So to that, the response was there's an objection to it and whatever legal stuff. But bottom line is they deny this to be false, basically.
Right.
And so that goes on for, 100 and some pages. And I'm going to share this document later on. I'll put it in the description so you can take your time and read through each of them if you would like. And you can imagine that going through each of these, this is a brand new attorney. They basically had to go from scratch and do their own investigation, do their own research. And we both know, Jen, how time consuming that is.
Yes, very.
Yeah, and they aren't going to rely on, just whatever's in the complaint. I believe that they're probably going to request all of these documents anew for themselves, just go through everything thoroughly because of the nature of the case and also with who they're dealing with.
Well, right. And they definitely don't want to rely on his previous counsel. It's best to they're handling it, in my opinion, the right way. It's best to start over from scratch, and because there's always a chance that something was missed by the other attorney. I mean, it's human error. It happens. So better to err on the side of caution and take your time, which I see that one of the things that the other side is trying to do is basically penalize Silva monetarily for it taking so long.
Yes,
which
absolutely. Well, and
it's to be expected, but it's still kind of,
Well, reading through all of the documents, I believe that the monetary sanctions are a consequence of not responding on time.
Yes.
So he was basically asking the judge to just impose that fine, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But again, the response is right here. I mean, we're looking at it. It's in the docket. It's in evidence. You're able to obtain it. So we'll find out what happened with this. I just want to get to the bottom, just to make sure that I'm not going to miss anything here. I know, I'll just do this because it's going to take 11 billion years. Right. So, and here's a summary then of that. So nonetheless, I mean, it's 100 and almost 50-page document. So you can imagine how time consuming that was. And I believe, at that point, the attorneys asking for an extension basically wasn't unheard of, right? They asked a little bit more time.
No. This is par for the course. This isn't anything unusual or out of the norm. This isn't anything. He's not trying to pull anything,
Correct. So then they go back and forth with their responses. And the hearing on this motion was held on September 20th. And recall that the judge presiding over this case is Judge Armin Tamzarian. And this is, again, I think the second or third judge in this case. And in each time, I believe that the request to have a judge replaced was placed on behalf of Courtney Love and defendants. So, of course, I did a little bit of research on this particular judge, but we'll get to that later because I do want to talk about how he handled this. So the hearing on the 20th, let me pull that document up.
While you're doing that, Tina Fontaine wants to know, if Cyril said there is no way Kurt killed himself, wouldn't that be enough to have it investigated again?
I believe that Dr. Cyril Wecht's opinion is he's an expert and he has a lot of experience under his belt. And so his word definitely means a lot and it's valuable if he was called to testify in the court of law. However, in this particular case, what he's going off of is a police report and a police officer's report of what was in the autopsy report. So he does not have access to the actual autopsy report or the photos or any of that information. So based on that, he's saying that if what the police report says is accurate, then that, my opinion is, in the medical sense, is that it's impossible for him to have shot himself. And that's his that's his opinion. I don't think that his opinion necessarily has the power to start any investigations from any law enforcement agencies. But if this case or if this matter was ever in court for whatever reason, and Dr. Wecht was called as a expert witness, that would definitely be a very credible testimony, I think.
I mean, yeah, and you're right. I agree with you. Although he is an expert witness and his testimony and his opinion carries a great deal of weight, legally, it would not be enough to start another investigation. What would need to happen, in my opinion, in order to get this case investigated all over again, would be somebody coming forward, a witness that got something to that effect, or a piece of evidence uncovered. It takes more than just an expert witness testimony and some other, it's related but not related. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a good start, but it doesn't quite get the investigation started again. However, what Silva's doing by standing up to Courtney Love and company could be very beneficial in the situation with whether or not the case is reopened or not, because sometimes all it takes is one brave person to stand up, and then it makes it easier. We see it all the time with whistleblowers. It takes one whistleblower to have the courage, and then they all start coming forward, and then the story eventually comes out.
Exactly. So. I forgot what I was going to say. Yes, regarding Dr. Cyril Wecht and his testimony. I believe that even without his testimony, I believe that there's enough material and potentially enough grounds to initiate some sort of internal investigation into the handling of the case, because I definitely do think that there's more than enough, in my opinion, of course, evidence to to suggest that there was some shady police work. And I'll throw this in here too. I've been working on my videos for the deaths of Kristen Pfaff and Detective Antonio Terry. And the reason why it's, well, kind of the reason why it's taking so long, other than also being busy, is that I've been trying to get my hands on some court documents from the murder trials of Detective Antonio Terry. And there are a lot of interesting pieces of information and potentially, I really don't want to get into it too much because it's still, I'm still working on it, and I don't want evidence to start disappearing as it has been
Well, we've
known.
seen what happens when talk happens, when talk has happened in other cases, how things disappear.
Yes, but let's just say that I am in communication with the King County District Attorney's Office, and who are the prosecuting office, obviously, of this case. So yeah, just I don't know any dates right now, because this actually might be the thing that's gonna make me end up going to Seattle, because there's a lot. So anyways, back on topic. So they're going back and forth, and on the 20th of September, a hearing was held with this new judge. And appearances were Michael Malfetta, I think, and his assistant via telephone. The Todd Stanford Egan III.
Oh, fancy.
Appeared via telephone, and as did our homie Mark Gaines. So this is a minute order. Let's just read through this. Defendant Mark Gaines' motion for order deeming admitted truth of facts and imposing monetary sanctions. When a party fails to respond to requests for admission, the requesting party may move for an order that the genuineness of any documents and the truth of any matters specified in the requests be deemed admitted. Failure to timely respond to requests for admission also waives any objection. On June 16th, defendant Mark Gaines served requests for admission sent, probably, one by mail on plaintiff Isaiah James Silva. Silva was unrepresented at the time, which we know that is not consistent with what is shown here, right? Oh, sorry, June 16th. Yes, sorry. He was not represented at this time. So this was sent to his home address. Silva had not served any response as of August 20th when Gaines filed this motion. Because plaintiff has not timely responded, Gaines is entitled to an order deeming admitted the truth of the matters specified in the requests. Gaines is also entitled to monetary sanctions because plaintiff's failure to serve a timely response necessitated this motion. Gaines seeks $1,875 for 2.5 hours of fees at $450 and blah, blah, blah. The motion is granted. The truth of the matter specified in defendant's Mark Gaines' request for admission, set 1, is hereby deemed admitted. Plaintiff Silva is ordered to pay $975 within 30 days. And the court and counsel confer regarding plaintiffs. So yes, so the reason that the judge did not accept that 150-page response is because the July 8th substitution of attorney form was not properly signed. And I mean, doesn't it seem kind of interesting that, that Gaines
That they would go
refused
to
to
the
respond?
yeah, that's
Well,
weird.
Gaines refused to respond to any of their communication. They started communicating. Let's refresh our recollection. July 8th, right?
Right.
And they said, we're going to be representing him and please send everything to our office. July 8th,
Right.
July 9th. Then we have August 25. Then we have September 2nd, September 3rd. And all of those communications are August 16th, another letter. This is a copy of, this is another thing that was filed with the court, the responses. Or this is, So clearly, so none of this, it's like as if it never happened.
Yeah.
It was just denied. And Gaines's motion was admitted. So let's just process that for a second, and I'm just gonna pop in chat for a minute too. And just what are your thoughts, Jen? You're our, legal correspondent.
I mean, I'm a little bit at a loss for words, and that very, very rarely ever happens to me. Because on the one hand, okay, I get there being an issue if the substitution of attorney, everything has to be signed correctly, I's dotted, T's crossed. Okay, I get it. But then because of that, deny a motion. When they denied the motion, did they give them the option to refile it? You know what I mean? Like they denied it. Why did?
No, because he was already sanctioned with the monetary fine.
Okay.
So there's, I don't know how they're going to fight it. That's the thing. Like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm sure that Mr. Molfetta and his firm have a strategy for this, but it's very bizarre. And, I would imagine I've watched enough proceedings in my life, in my my true crime. It's almost like a profession because it's like
Right.
To kind of be familiar with how these things work, and with, yes, that may be the law, that if you don't respond within that time frame, you're sanctioned and your order has to be granted. However, I feel like judges have discretion over these things, and if it's a clerical order or a clerical issue or some sort of mishap,
but you can't punish one side and not the other, because because you know what I'm saying. Like the other side, so they were notified. The defendants were all notified and multiple times and failed to respond. So shouldn't they be punished as well?
Well, here's the thing with that. If the form wasn't signed, technically, Gaines, Courtney Love, and the rest of the defendants can claim that it could have been anyone emailing them because the form was improper. So there's that can of worms. And, You know that's what they would argue because
So,
these are
and
like
then my
Hollywood
counter to that would be then,
lawyers.
if that's what your argument is, then why did you go ahead and get Silva to admit certain things through his attorney? If you weren't sure
Well,
that was his attorney
he was not represented.
at that time. Okay. I misunderstood then.
Right, because there was a period of time where he was pro se,
Right,
and
right. Okay.
all correspondence was sent to him, but he kind of failed to appear to depositions. And at the time, just a quick overview. At the time, we were talking about that. The reason why he didn't appear at depositions is because he would be deposed by the very people who he claims attacked him.
Right,
So
right.
there was a reasonable fear of, intimidation or something.
Correct. Be sort of like
So
when Ted Bundy represented himself, thus allowing him the opportunity to cross-examine his victims. Yes, I'm following.
yeah,
Yeah, like that.
so
What a
yes,
mess.
it is. It's messy. So let's go back to this now.
Okay.
Where are we? All right. So that was this hearing on the 20th. So immediately the next day, Silva's law firm filed the proper substitution of attorney and now officially is represented. Isn't it okay? I can't get over these technicalities that this judge so harshly ruled on, but it just
Some
doesn't
judges are that way.
seem fair.
It's
It
not
doesn't
fair.
seem fair.
It's
Welcome,
not fair.
Chris. Yeah.
It's not fair. But that's
No.
sort of okay. I know this is it's not fair, but of course life is not fair. But when you get into a courtroom, it's really, and you got two lawyers going at it, it's really about who can argue the best loophole. Let's be honest. That's really what it's about
Yes.
in these kinds of
Ye-
cases.
Yes. And
I would do fabulous, except for I'm not a lawyer. So that would be the problem. But if I ever were a lawyer, I would find all the loopholes. I argue them now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, all right. There's so much in this case that I'm not quite sure. Let's keep going with this part. I want to keep going. So, what's the next thing I set up here? So we did the case update. All right. Remember this dude? Guys in chat, he's one of the defendants in this case.
Yes, I recall.
Yes, he is a private investigator, and he clearly specializes in divorce. So, as we know, at the very core of this case, or at the very foundation of this case, is Isaiah Silva's relationship with Francis Cobain. So, the services of Mr. Nazarian, John Nazarian, were according to the complaint, were what was I saying? His services were obtained by Miss Love herself, and he's very proud of the fact that he's one of Hollywood's fixers, right? And he goes around and gets people dirt on their spouses for their divorce. So it's safe to say that part of his work is to get dirt on the other people that will be advantageous in a court proceeding, right? So, and that's I'll link this video in the description as well later. You can watch. And that's one of the things that they pride themselves with, is that they will win you the case, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the twist. Oh, crap. Let's just look at it. The current judge that is presiding over this case, Judge, what do we say his name is?
Nazarian?
Tamzarian. Yep. So this is a blog spot from John Nazarian, who is that guy, and this is from 2014, March 19th, and he talks about himself, what he does, and some of the cases that he's helped with. And I'll just read parts of this because, I just found it interesting. I walked in just in time as a divorce lawyer having a sugar plums dancing in his head of a $50,000 award for fees. You're not going to get $50,000 in fees. The Honorable Judge Armen Tamzarian had me. Sorry if I'm reading like a robot. I'm not. So Judge Tamzarian went on to make clear that appropriate fees would be awarded over time. $50,000 was not going to happen in his court anytime soon. Judge Tamzarian was clear and concise, so clear and so concise it was refreshing. This is one judge that appears to have caught his stride with little or no warm-up time. His delivery could very well be in the same category as Lewis, Gordon, Black, Goldstein. Nothing better than a clear and concise delivery of a bench officer's thoughts. You want Disneyland, folks? You need to drive 38 miles further down the road. Department 84 is the new home to Judge Armen Tamzarian, and it's going to be real, very real. He goes on to say how Judge gave some incredible advice. Yeah, and so basically this character is giving the judge who's currently presiding over this case like a 10-star Yelp review.
That is an outstanding Google review. I very rarely give such high marks in a Google review. I like to be honest,
especially
when I give them.
Yeah, someone like this, right? So what the actual F are your thoughts about this?
First of all, it seems improper. And if I were Silva's attorneys, I would file a motion for the judge to recuse himself, given the fact that he has, at some point, on some level, somebody that is a witness in this case is knows
he's a
him.
Defendant. He's a defendant.
A defendant. Oh, he's a defendant. Excuse me. Pardon me. I feel like it's improper, and I would definitely, as Silva's attorney, motion for him to recuse himself on that basis. It doesn't seem proper. It's not a good look. I mean,
right.
you very rarely do you have a situation where you have a judge presiding over a matter where the defendant has already gone ahead and given the judge a glowing, he gave him a 5-star Google review, okay, which means perfect, and nobody is perfect. So there's something already wrong there. And if I were Silva's attorneys, I'd want him recused.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. There's definitely something wrong with this. And we can go back later and refresh our recollections too with what exactly this guy was, accused of, or yeah. And I mean, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, it doesn't seem proper. Will you do me
look
a
at that.
favor? Will you scroll
One
up?
one of
And
the
when did he
tags
write that?
in 2014.
Okay,
So this is a long relationship.
correct.
One of the tags that is under this post is Nazarian celebrity PI problem solver for the rich and famous.
Huh. I'll be.
Yes. And he charges, if you would like a phone consultation, it's $339.99 for 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Or you can call me for $5.99 for the first 5 minutes, 99 cents for each additional minute, and I'll just crack jokes the whole time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Tell all your
Isn't it?
friends. Oh God.
I'm just flabbergasted. I don't
Yeah,
even like, I'm just gonna let this sit for a second because people need to realize
Mhm.
really, like, because I've been mulling this over for months now. Really, like I've been
Yes.
following this for 2 years. Why did I say years like Liam?
Quit fucking around.
Yes, my 3-year-old nephew told his Kika, that's me, Kika, stop fucking around.
We don't want to talk about where he potentially heard this from, perhaps potentially, maybe his Kika, could possibly be his Aunt Jin. We don't know where he's heard this. I blame TV.
Yeah,
He clearly heard that from TV. His crazy aunties did not teach him that accidentally.
absolutely not. And this
We would
happened.
never.
This happened during. He was, you know, pushing his little Hot Wheels through whatever that racetrack thing is, and I was building another one for a car wash type of thing, and he wasn't having it because he wanted me to do his thing, and my ADHD was like, no, I must finish this track. So Liam really quickly redirected me. Stop fucking around.
Way to be a half full Kika with the redirecting. That's how I look at it. I mean, look.
I mean, I am talking to his counsel, so.
Where is the lie? Show me on the doll where Liam hurt you. Nowhere. Case closed. Where was he wrong? No. Were you fucking around? Yes. Was he wrong? No.
I mean, guilty as charged.
Guilty. Like we're doing right now. Fucking around.
Yes, exactly. All right, I think it has sunk in.
Yes.
Yes, let's keep going.
The takeaway is going to be the Liam story, though. So not our letting it sink in that the defendant has some type of prior relationship, ongoing working relationship with this judge. That's the bottom line here, not
Bottom.
crazy Kika and Aunt Jin.
Okay, so
Okay.
then what do we have here? On the 29th of October, we had a filing on behalf of Courtney Love asking the judge to order that the plaintiff, Silva, show up for a deposition. So that leads us up to today, this morning. There were documents filed ahead of time, so let's look at those. There's, let me see which one's first. Okay. So we have this case management status or statement filed on the 2nd of November on behalf of Courtney Love. And Courtney Love states the following. Plaintiff Silva initiated this lawsuit without a shred of evidence to link defendant Courtney Love Cobain, the world-famous musician and widow of legendary rock icon Kurt Cobain, to the alleges. Here we go.
Hold on, let me look.
I'm going to make it bigger too, because apparently Kika's getting old.
Allege tortoise conduct that
Thank
forms the basis of his claims. There you go.
Thank you. Silva's second amended complaint, which we've gone over in a previous video, is only the latest act of revenge by Silva against his ex-wife, Miss Love Cobain's daughter, Frances Bean Cobain, who filed for divorce in 2016, less than 2 weeks after entering into a settlement agreement ending the divorce proceedings, pursuant to which Silva and Miss Cobain agreed to general mutual releases preventing Silva from taking any further legal action against her. Silva filed this spite action against Miss Cobain's mother. To that end, Silva's second amended complaint is full of I can't say this word.
Allegations incendiary
about Frances and Courtney Love that were included merely to harass them and malign their reputations. In a rambling,
Courtney's is so stellar.
In a rambling 83-page complaint, Silva alleges that Miss Love Cobain and several other defendants entered into a conspiracy to deprive him of his purported rightful ownership of a guitar. Silva alleges that he has suffered severe and permanent injuries to his person, requiring him to employ the services of caretakers and other medical professionals and medicines and other treatment, blah, blah, blah. Notably, in support of her special motion to strike pursuant to the Miss Love Cobain previously submitted a declaration which remains entirely uncontroverted, in which she explicitly denied having any involvement in the events alleged in the complaint, including any communications with the other named defendants prior to the alleged incident. Entering into a conspiracy or otherwise agreeing to take possession of the guitar Silva alleges Miss Cobain gave him as a gift, engaging in a pattern of criminal conduct against Silva, his family or friends. Okay, we know what the complaint alleges, Courtney. Let's keep it moving. This is a frivolous, harassing lawsuit against Miss Love Cobain when confronted in open court about Silva's failure to produce any evidence to support his claims against Miss Love Cobain in connection with the anti-SLAPP motion. Silva's former counsel effectively conceded that Silva relied on a single text message exchange attached to the complaint as Exhibit 6 as the basis for pursuing this action against Miss Love Cobain. Far from creating an inference that Courtney Love had any involvement in the events alleged in the complaint, this text message exchange clearly demonstrates that Courtney Love at various times had no control over the actions of any of the other defendants in this action, who in any event have not been shown to have engaged in any tortuous conduct. In short,
it's both sounded out.
Yeah. In short, Silva and his counsel initiated this proceeding against Courtney Love with malice and without probable cause. Since March 2019, Courtney Love has served several notices of deposition of plaintiff. Plaintiff repeatedly failed to appear. As a result, there was a previously granted motion that he was ordered to appear, and October 15th, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's moving up to today.
Mm-hmm.
So here is then the result of that. Un momento, por favor. All right. So this is from this morning at 8:30 a.m. Molfetta and Lawrence Adamski, or actually just Lawrence I'm not sure if both or just one of them appeared via telephone, and Todd Stanford Egan appeared for Courtney Love, and Gaines appeared on behalf of himself, and I think the rest of the defendants, which is another thing. This guy represents himself and then all of the rest of them. So I don't know.
Isn't that convenient?
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this morning, on the court's own motion, the hearing on motion for order, blah, blah, blah. So the September 20th, so that's what we just previously read. Deeming admitted the truth of facts in defendant Mark Gaines' RFA to plaintiff, reserved for December 6th and continued to December 7th. So it sounds like there's going to be a hearing to hear that stuff again, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
On the court's own motion, the hearing on motion for summary of for judgment is reserved for January 10th, is advanced to this date and continued to March 2nd. Order to show cause regarding case consolidation for trial purposes is also scheduled for March 2nd. And any response brief regarding order to show cause regarding case consolidation for trial must be filed by February 16th. So that's what happened today. Also, yes, also there has been an order. Where did I see that one? 1 second. Here we go. Oh, no, no, that's the one that we just read. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to find it. Basically, Isaiah Silva has been ordered by the court to appear for his deposition, which will take place on on December 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find that order now, but that is what the result of. That's one of the motions that was granted today, or orders that was put in today. So that is the result. Did everyone get that? Does that make sense?
I got it. I'm following along because I'm a good noodle.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? And we'll try to answer them. How about that?
Yes, that's probably better.
Because that's, as far as information, that's what we have now. And I'm going to keep my eye on the website for future dates. Let's see. Okay, so the next date is March 2nd. So between now and March 2nd, Silva is ordered to be deposed on December 6th and 7th. So that should be interesting. So we should see some filings coming in. And
yeah, there'll be some filings.
Yeah.
Because then after he's deposed, then I would imagine
He gets to depose.
He gets to depose, but I think what happens first. I'm trying to see this paperwork. I'm. Let me
What do you need?
read. No,
What do
you're
you
fine.
need? Okay.
I think the way that I'm understanding the paperwork is that Silva is going to be deposed, and they're basically based on that deposition, the judge and other motions, other filings, the judge will then rule if this case is going to go forward to trial, which was tentatively set for March 22nd. And I think so in between now and then,
I'll pull this back up. Sorry.
I feel like that's when the rest of the defendants, including Miss Love herself, although she will probably be the last one, and I'm sure there'll be a ton of wrangling to get her in to be deposed. That's all I was going to say.
Right. Correct. Absolutely. And, just by the whole play that Gaines pulled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just judging by that little interaction and how the judge handled it, and just taking all of the issues into consideration, you can already tell that a lot of this lawsuit is going to be just a waste of money, in my opinion, through these motions and just legal tug of war, basically, who's better. And I've read through. Actually, I can try to see if I can pull up Molfetta. I hope I'm saying that correct. Website.
I think you are.
But it seems legit. So
better than Bertolino.
Better. So,
and official callous. I can't talk today. It's not even intentional. Official callous. If I believe you, and if that's correct, what you're saying or what you wrote, then that's probably part of some of the wrangling and the motions that are going on in between to what happened today, right? And then December 6th.
Was that a question? I zoned out.
No, it was just a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. I could be making legal history here and you're zoned out as a non-lawyer.
I don't know what I was thinking about.
As soon as we get off this live, you're blocked.
No, that only Team Psych Ward has access to the block button. And her block list is fairly long.
It is. And everybody who's on it has earned their spot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me see if there's
Jen, do you mind reading this Molfetta thing just really quick for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. Let me put my reading voice on. I can read it, babe. I can make my own screen. Ay, Dios mío. Now I close my own screen. Okay, there we go. All right. Michael A. Molfetta is a veteran criminal defense attorney who has practiced for over 30 years. He has represented defendants in more than 300 jury trials, ranging from death penalty, homicide, complex white-collar crimes, DUI, drug crimes, mortgage and investment domestic violence, gang crimes, vehicular manslaughter, sex crimes, and environmental crimes. Attorney Molfetta approaches every case with the same intensity, regardless of whether the case is a misdemeanor or a felony. There you go.
Very nice, thank you. So it sounds like he has. Yeah, it sounds like they're equipped to handle. Courtney's craziness.
I didn't want to point out the obvious, but let's see. Complex white collar crimes, check. Drug crimes, check. probably some mortgage and investment fraud check, domestic violence for sure, potential gang crimes, and
Absolutely.
environmental crimes. I doubt that Courtney is good at recycling.
Well, let's just consider that she, what did she do with Kurt's ashes? I'm pretty sure she like threw them somewhere, which I'm pretty sure is not like according to
Okay.
OSHA.
The EPA. Okay, so I did some research because my mom and dad traveled to the Virgin Islands a ton, but the last place they ever went was the Bahamas, and my mom really liked it. And my mom is also an Aquarius like I am, and she was cremated. And so I was researching where we could take her ashes legally, because it turns out you cannot just dump ashes in the ocean. There's places that they like for you to do it versus other places. It can be done, but you can't just be willy-nilly just, throwing ashes around. Courtney.
Yes, and that's one of the things that, my life experience, I actually have some personal experience with that. And namely, some of you know that I worked on a cruise liner, and one of the, we get a lot of different people on those, but one lady, had brought her aunt with her, and that was one of her wishes. I mean,
request.
Her aunt's ashes. Yes,
Mhm.
and her request was to, be spread. I don't know what the terminology is, but
Scatter.
yes, but there was a whole process for that, because we do have I don't work there anymore. I don't know why I'm speaking present tense, but an environmental person who had to go through all kinds of hoops with the Coast Guard and blah, blah, blah. And in the end, it was approved for a specific amount. And, they had a little ceremony with the ship's captain and scattered the ashes. And unfortunately for this lady, a lot of them returned back. But I blame the captain for that, because he should have freaking, you know what I mean? Like the winds and all that stuff. Like, I don't know, but it was a nice ceremony.
Correct, Heather, whatever. You cannot take ashes in a Folgers coffee can and spread them. You're 100% correct. Can't do that. I could not just get in a little boat and row on out and scatter my mom's ashes. Because we even thought about doing it. We even thought about doing it here in Florida, like going down to the Keys, because obviously that water goes. It's the same ocean, it's the Atlantic. So, but I could just hear my mom saying, "Oh, really? You went all the way to the Keys? You couldn't just go a little further? This is how you treat me?" So we decided to wait, because then COVID and all that. So yeah.
So yes, that's Michael Molfetta. That would be the attorney
He
representing
sounds like he's
Silva.
equipped.
Sounds like he's very equipped. Yes. So that sums it up. This was a lot of information, and I do have all of the filings. I get them, download them regularly. So I'll be updating that as well. And if you guys want to read through these yourselves, you can. And if you find something that I might have missed, feel free to reach out, bring your attention or our attention to it. But it's a lot, and a lot of it is, just
redundant.
Yes, and legal pissing matches.
Yeah. So excuse me, I guess we're doing the Indy 500 down my streets this evening in the rain. Welcome to Florida.
Yes. So that
driving a $2,000 car with $20,000 worth of rims.
Oh, that was a car? I thought that was like.
It was a truck, like a little pickup truck, like a little truck, like a mini truck with 11 billion dents. This one's a more substantial SUV. This one is worth the rims that are on it.
Oh my
Here
God.
comes the tow truck. What the hell is happening on my street today? Like I live in a neighborhood, like a residential neighborhood. What is happening? It's Florida. No, Florida's never boring. No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so yeah, that was a lot of information that I packed in here, but that's all the information that I had for this live. So I wanted to keep it kind of relevant to that. As of right now, the next date that is on the calendar is March, what did we say?
2nd.
Oh,
No.
gracias.
Is it the 2nd or the 22nd?
I shall look. Future hearings. 2nd, yes.
The 2nd.
The
Okay.
next.
All right.
Yeah. Next date is for case consolidation for trial purposes. I'm wondering if this case consolidation is referring to Jessica Sullivan's case as well, who is, if you recall, Silva's ex, and they have a child together. So I don't know if that's the March one, and then obviously we'll keep our eyes out on the filings and the deposition and that whole mess. But as of right now, the jury trial is still set for May 4th, and I don't know. Anything could happen, but I really hope that we do get a jury trial in this case.
Yeah, me too. I wonder how long you have to be a California resident to be picked for jury duty. I would sign up. I would be kicked immediately. There's literally nobody that's ever going to put me on a jury ever.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, maybe, but not after this glowing Google review that I just gave myself. Probs not.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up. I think I'm gonna try. Oh, that was not ideal to do. I'm gonna try to do my best. Hi, Miss Honey. So good to see you. I'm gonna do my best to try to be live more often and more consistent. It's been a bit chaotic for me lately, and YouTube was really just it was a coping tool for me in terms of being a consumer, but not in terms of a creator. But nevertheless, all the work that I was doing behind the scenes will ultimately end up on here eventually. So just, thank you for being patient with me with that.
Yes, Sean Skelding, there is a court case now. Everything. Yeah, the court has accepted Silva's substitution of attorney, and there's been some filings, and the next court date is March 2nd. Well, thank you, Gregory. That was very nice of you.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you all in chat. I'm sorry I will look back at the chat after. Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention much, but like I said, we'll be going live more often, so we'll get that. Once we get caught up with everything, we'll have some live streams where we can just kind of have an open panel discussion. Because I feel like I just wanted to get the information out there. And so once we're all kind of familiarized with the case and we have a clear understanding of what's going on, we can open it up to the public to comment on it as well, which I think would be very interesting because I get a lot of comments from you guys regarding your thoughts on Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love and that whole deal that I think are pretty excellent points. So I don't know. I thought about how to highlight them somehow. So I think maybe this would be a good way of allowing people to express their thoughts and opinions. So be on the lookout for that. And then also, who said it? Oh, Cement Shoes is asking about our next victim for our true crime roasts. And what did we say?
Yes.
We were gonna offer a couple of options, right?
Yeah, we were gonna. Yeah, I was gonna
Hubers, I
put a
think, is one.
poll.
Yeah.
We were gonna do a poll on my channel on the under the community tab. I never know how to say that, so that's how I'm saying it today. Tomorrow I might change my mind, but under the community tab, we'll put up a poll, let you guys vote on the next victim of the roast. I'll make a little intro video announcing it, and and then schedule it. So probably within the next week or so, maybe next Friday we'll do it. Because I'm still working on stuff too, and it's been more tedious and more involved than I thought. I thought it was going to be just pretty straightforward. I was wrong.
Yes,
And
I mean,
again,
the amount of work that we're kind of, Jen and I are working as a team. We're all working as a team essentially, but each of us are working on or researching our cases independently, and we use each other, all of us in our chat group, as sounding boards. And of course, when it comes to this particular case, I also discuss a lot of, well, pretty much everything that I do kind of behind the scenes with Miss Honey and a lovely group on Facebook. The name is We Believe Kurt Cobain Was Murdered. So it's a lot of information, a lot of work goes into it. And something that I struggle with is like obsessing with details. Like I'm very detail oriented, and I feel like I can't put everything together until I answer this one particular question. And this one particular question relies on this information that I need to get from this, I don't know, government body, source, whatever, you know. And so each of them have their timelines, and then so on and so forth. So it's definitely going very slow, but it's happening in the background. So just be aware of that. And
Cement. I think we're going to do maybe ask Michelle from from Apostles Crew. They ask Michelle, and now Michelle's fixing an answer. I don't know what the other one we were thinking we were kicking around was, but definitely her. She'll be up again. And thank you guys for the super stickers. It's very nice of you guys. But I know what you mean, Dr. B. Like, I have all of the info. I have as much information as I'm ever going to get, right? But it's difficult to put it all together in a detail and with enough detail that my point gets across, but at the same time, not too much detail. You know what I'm saying? It's always a fine line balancing act, and I never ever feel it's quite right. And then, of course, you know that audio is an issue for me. I don't know if it's me and my hearing is just weird, and all those days time my mom used to tell me, you're going to be deaf. I don't know if that's what issue is right or what, but I'm forever messing with the audio. It never feels like it's balanced or right for me. And I think we're just really hard on ourselves because we want it to be good for you guys. We put a lot of time into it, and we're probably overly critical. But this part that I'm working on is I'm going to do a Google Earth presentation of the alibis, both of Chris Byers, Steve Branch, and Michael Moore, and then also of Damien, Jason, and Jesse, as best I can from the case files. So
yes, please, if you haven't already, please go over to the ward case studies on YouTube and subscribe. And also Mo's posted a link so you don't miss any of that. Good stuff. Also, Nonstop Mom, thank you for the super chat. And third thing is, yes, cement shoes. The other one was Luca Magnotta that we were
Yes, that's
talking
it.
about.
All right. Okay. All right. I wrote it down. I won't forget. I'm writing it. I didn't actually write it. I'll write it right this minute so we don't forget.
Coolest reviews. I did not forget about you. I've yet to respond to your email. Sorry, I'm taking forever. Hi, Lana. Welcome. You're a bit late, but welcome nonetheless. Coolest review wants to be a part of our roast if the poll decides
if Luke Magnotta wins coolest reviews, I will definitely
eventually.
He will win. Eventually he'll win out. Eventually, and whenever he does, I will totally send you the link and bring you up on panel. Absolutely, love to have you.
Yes. All right. Well, that's all. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for joining me. And thank you all in chat again for being here with us, for listening, and for your interest in the case. And keep sharing it. Hashtag saving Silva. That's our mission. So, yeah, we'll see you next time with the next updates. And hopefully in May, we'll be attending a jury trial. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, I can't wait. I would go to LA for that. I totally would. That's a long flight for me. It's literally all the way across the country, but I would do it, and I hate flying.
I will fly twice around the globe for that.
I would too.
And I hate flying.
Me too. I would fly. I would fly to meet you anywhere, though, but you know that.
Oh, I would drive and swim to meet you anywhere. So
I would ride a turtle to meet you.
I'll crawl on nails and broken glass to see you.
I would walk on my tongue to see you.
All right.
Look at us. We're so gross. Thanks, you guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Bye.